Greetings, Brian, Stronzo 5785, coming to you from my beloved nondescript little city here in the southwestern part of the United States. You asked me to nail you to the wall. I'm not going to nail you to the wall, but I will give you a short education on Hebrew poetry. You obviously don't understand it, and your way of dealing with things you don't understand is to criticize them. So I'll help you out. I'll give you a short, very short. I mean, I'm cramming a couple of semesters of knowledge into 10 minutes. I can't do that. But what I can tell you is I can specifically speak to Song of Songs. Song of Songs is one of the poetic books of the Old Testament. Song of Songs is Hebrew poetry. Hebrew poetry is unique in that it is more rhythmic. It uses rhythm more than it uses rhyme and meter. The sound of the words follow regular patterns of stressed and unstressed syllables. It uses the repetition of certain sounds, and it frequently makes a use of alliteration. It's rhythmic in thought in the way the book balances themes and ideas in a structured fashion. It structures things a little differently than the poetry of other languages. All Hebrew poetry also uses word parallelism, where similar or opposite ideas are offset between the lines of poetry. I'll provide a link that will give you a little bit more information about Song of Songs, so that you won't be speaking anymore out of ignorance. Let's talk a little more specifically now about your insertion of an IE in chapter 8, verses 1 through 3, where you seem to think that spiced wine can also mean vaginal fluid or a vagina semen. I need you to source that. If you can self-source, then provide your credentials. We'll check out your credentials and see if you are indeed the expert that you portray yourself to be. If not, if you rely on other people's scholarship, source that scholarship for us, please. Also, do the same thing with chapter 5, verse 4, where you insist that opening the robe exposed her body. And let me keep in mind that you are the one who is using explicit language in referring to this. You are the one who are introducing the pornography. Pornography is defined, by the way. I'll redefine it for you, just to bring everything into focus, to keep you on topic here, because it's obviously going to be something of a challenge, since I'm pretty sure you're going to use cut editing, like you did in your response to me. Pornography is defined by Merriam-Webster as specifically creative activity, words, music, or images, video or still, that are designed to produce sexual excitement. Let me tell you something. I read Song of Songs, and I read beauty. I read loveliness. I read a man and a woman describing each other very gently, very respectfully, in ways that I can't find in the Quran. For some reason, this type of describing of a very natural and lovely act between two committed individuals, a man and a woman, for some reason you think that is pornography. That speaks something to me of either your upbringing, or it speaks to me of your education. Because the Quran doesn't directly address these types of relationships. Instead, there is a man more dominant than the woman type of relationship, and a need to, quote, hide your ornaments on the part of women. It would seem that there is some fear of the woman that's communicated in the Quran. This fear doesn't exist in the Old Testament or the New Testament. In fact, women play a major role in the discovery of the resurrected Christ. Women are the one who discovered the empty tomb. The resurrected Jesus first appeared to women. Women appear prominently and are mentioned in the New Testament as being elders in churches in certain areas. I believe it's Rebecca in Corinth. If I'm wrong, please forgive me. I hope you do prove me wrong on that, because it will prove to me something, that you have gone and read a little bit more about the Bible. So, once again, I'm going to try and summarize for you. Hebrew poetry is unique in its structure. It's unique in its use of rhythm. It's also unique in its use of word parallelism, not in its sexual content. I'm requesting that you source where you get your transliterations for Song of Solomon 8, verse 1 through 3, and chapter 5, verse 4, involving your application of nudity onto that. And finally, I call you to a higher standard. I call you to a standard that is used by Muslim scholars too. I call you to source. Prove to me that you really know what you're talking about. Once again, I think you are a young man who's excited about his faith and is inadvertently representing Islam in the worst possible light. Your video proves to us that your ignorance doesn't go past your personal life. You want to teach your ignorance as fact. Rise to the higher standard. Become a student. Learn about my faith. Learn about my scriptures before you indiscriminately post videos which spread blatant nonsense and lies. I call you to this standard because my God calls you to this standard. 1 Thessalonians 5:21, test all things. Hold fast that which is good. Brian, Shtonoso 5785, from my beloved nondescript little city in the southwestern part of the United States. We will continue to pray for you, young man, and we will continue to pray that the God of the Bible, Jesus Christ, reveals himself to you. God bless you.